Well, here's the second deck profile for today. Because I feel like cranking them out today. There might be a third one. Today, I got a very special. I got a very special one for this one. This one is Kuja Mage Manufacturer. Now, Kuja is insane. First off, it's 5 CMC Grixis and 2 colorless to play, but you don't really have to worry about playing it. It's a reskin of Inalla Archmage Ritualist, which was an excellent deck from 2017 Commander deck. So it's got Eminence, which means whenever another non-token wizard you control enters, if Kuja is in the command zone or on the battlefield, you may pay 1, and if you do, create a token that's a copy of that wizard, and it gains haste and exile it at the beginning of the next step. And you can tap 5 untapped wizards you control to make a target player lose 7 life. Pretty neat, huh? So this deck just says wizard, wizard, wizard. There's only one non-wizard in this deck, and that is the first creature I'm going to show y'all for this deck profile. We're starting off with Merchant's Dockhand, which has tap X untapped artifacts you control. Look at the top X cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. Really good for filtering. It's a 1-drop, and yeah, it's very easy to get that off. We got Magus of the Scroll here. Magus of the Scroll. Name a card, reveal a card at random from your hand. If it's that name card, deal damage. This is really good for a quick turn 2, deal 2 damage sort of ditty. The Raven Man. You don't want to copy the Raven Man, but the Raven Man is pretty awesome. I don't have Mirror Box in this deck yet, but I've been strongly considering putting Mirror Box into this deck. I just need the money for it. At the beginning of each end step, if a player discarded a card, create a 1/1 black creature token, Blackbird, and it cannot block, but it's got flying. Harbinger of the Tides, which it enters the battlefield. I may return target tap creature to the deck. If I play this and copy it, I get to return 2 creatures. It's nice. The Emperor of Palamecia, which has had blue or red and spend it to cast a non-creature spell. And when I cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, which happens, put 1/1 counter onto the Emperor of Palamecia, and then if it has 3 or more 1/1 counters, transform it. And I'm gonna transform it for y'all so you can see what it does on the back. It's got Starfall. Whenever the Lord Master of Hell attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of non-creature non-lands in my graveyard, which is quite a bit, to be honest. Quite a neat card. Definitely worth the spot in this. My City and Elder, because it allows you to create a token that deals damage to your opponent whenever I cast a non-creature spell, which is awesome. I play this creature, double it, create, even triple it, and I get 3 of those creature tokens. Magus of the Wheel. Sacrifice Magus of the Wheel. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. for some shenanigans that have to deal with other creatures in this deck too. Plus, it's fun to filter cards. Portal Mage. When it enters the battlefield during the declare attackers step, you can reselect which player or planeswalker target attacking creature is attacking. Ain't it funny? But it can't attack its controller or its controller's planeswalker. That's hilarious. So yeah, it's a redirect, and you get to copy it too because it's this deck. Magus of the Will. This one allows you to until end of turn you may play cards from your graveyard after you exile this until end of turn. If a card were to be put in your graveyard, exile it instead. It's a good trade off. Obsessive Stitcher, draw a card, discard a card. Good to haste her out. And she's also a necromancer, which means I get to sacrifice her and return a target creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. Excellent synergy. Adelez, the Cinderwind. Whenever I cast an instant or sorcery spell, wizards I control gain +1/+1 until end of turn. And it's flying and it's got haste. Really good. Marchesa the Black Rose. It's a Grixis in one. It's got Dethrone, which whenever this creature attacks the player with the most life or tied for most life, put a 1/1 counter on it. Other creatures you control have Dethrone. Whenever a creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it dies, return it to the battlefield under my control during the next end step, which is huge. Grixis Reanimator. Azami of Lady of Scrolls. 5, which 3 of it is blue. Tap an untapped wizard you control, draw a card. 0/2. Mercurial Chemister. Tap, draw 2 cards. Tap, discard a card, deal damage equal to its CMC to a creature. And that's with the red. This thing's crazy. I love it so much. Plus you could copy it. Nekusar the Mind Razor. This one people don't necessarily like in synergy with the next card, but yes. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. And whenever an opponent draws a card, Nekusar the Mind Razor does 1 damage to that player. Kefka, Court Mage. Whenever Kefka enters or attacks, each player discards a card, then you draw a card for each card discarded that way. For each card type discarded that way, which is insane. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent of their choice. Transform Kefka. Activate only as a sorcery. And I'm going to transform him for a second so you can see what's up. He's got flying, and whenever opponent loses life during your turn, draw that many cards. A great way to filter through your deck, by the way. Great way to filter through your deck. There's no card in this that says I have no maximum hand size. I purposely didn't add Thought Vessel because this is a reanimator deck. I want some things in the graveyard. Magus of the Arena. This one's fun as fuck. Tap target creature you control and target creature of opponent's choice. He or she controls. Each of those creatures deal damage equal to the power to its power to each other. So it forces things to fight. Magus of the Future. Play with the top card of your library field. You may play the top card of your library. Magus of the Mirror allows me to switch life totals with an opponent. Activate this ability only during my upkeep. Galecaster Colossus, tap an untapped wizard you control, target non-land permanent, return target non-land permanent I don't control to the owner's hand. Now last creature slash enchantment, Esperama, which allows me to deal damage to the number of non-creature non-lands in my graveyard to a target creature an opponent controls, which is pretty good. I like it. And it's also got wizards got get +1/+0 until end of turn. Plus you get to copy this. It's funny. Now for the rest of the enchantments, Stuck in Summoner's Sanctum, which freezes something. Death in Heaven, which is insane. And this is why I put it in the stack. 1. Target player mills 2 cards and exiles their graveyard. And that happens for 2 turns. Then 3. Put all creature cards exiled with Death in Heaven onto the battlefield face down under your control. They're 2/2 Cyberman artifact creatures. Which is fucking insane. Reflections of Lit Jara. This is the last enchantment in this deck. Just play it. Choose a creature type. You're going to choose Wizard in this case. And whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, copy that spell. You're gonna want to not. You have to copy your legendaries with this, but it's a good thing you get to choose to keep one of the creatures because ETBs. Now, time for the artifact Spring of Valkis, which is an important card. Equipped creature has haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on your equipped creature if it's red. There's a lot of red creatures in this deck. And it's the equip cost of 1, so it's easy to just play a creature and equip it. The Mirror Signet. Yes. Tap 1 mana, add a blue or black. Rakdos Signet. Tap 1 mana, tap, add a red or a black. Arcane Signet. Add 1 color of your commander's color identity. Draugr's Helm. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 in that. If you do, create a black zombie berserker creature token and attach this to it. It's got menace, so it can't be blocked by 2, except by 2 or more creatures. And it's got a equip cost of 4. Honestly, this is the one card I'm probably taking out of the deck. But that's when I get a Sol Ring. This is gonna be a Sol Ring. As you notice, I don't have a Sol Ring in here. This is just a filler card till the Sol Ring's here. Chromatic Lantern. By the way, I have so many Sol Rings, but I refuse to proxy a Sol Ring. Chromatic Lantern fixes all your lands. All Fates Scroll allows you to draw X, where X is the number of named lands you control. I have a lot of named lands in here. Commander Sphere. It's Commander Sphere. Add 1 color of your commander's color identity or sacrifice it and draw a card. Ticket Turbo Tubes. I don't give a fuck about the ticket counter. It's just a mana rock that says add 1 of any color. It's basically Manalith. Seer's Lantern. Add 1 colorless. Or Tattoo and Scry. Hedron Archive. Worst Sol Ring. Once I will have Sol Ring and this, which is awesome. Now the last artifact. Now I could have played all 3 of these, But I chose to only play one of these monuments because this one just says target creature an opponent controls doesn't untap during its next untap step, which is good because wizards stun magic. Now time for some other magic, such as the instants. We got Endwalker, which is also Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards, put 2 on the from your hand on the top of the library in any order. Divert Disaster, counter target spell unless its controller plays 2. Then if you do, create a lander token. And it's a artifact with 2, sacrifice this token, search your library for a basic land, and put it in tapped. Ice Magic, return creature to its opponent's hand, or target creatures the opponent controls goes on its opponent's goes on the top of their library, or target opponent shuffles the card into their library. You would think that with this card it would have like the stun effect, but I digress. Counter spell, because it's a counter spell, counter target spell. Pretty basic, pretty basic. I love it though. And it's the Yoshitaka, a mono counter spell, so that's all that matters. Terminate, target creature destroyed, can't be regenerated. Rakdos Charm, exile all cards from a target player's graveyard, destroy a target artifact. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Fight on, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your battlefield. Dark Bargain, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them on into your hand and the other into the graveyard, and it deals 2 damage to you. You'll notice that there's a good amount of filter cards in this deck because I want to load the graveyard up with non creatures and stuff as well as wizards to do damage with other effects. Chemister's Insight, draw 2 cards and jumpstart. I may cast this from the graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. Then exile this card. Wrecking Ball. I came in like a wrecking ball. Gonna destroy target creature or land. Gonna exile your fucking hand. Yeah. Wrecking Ball. Now for the last few instants, Nurgle's Conscription, which allows me to put a target creature card from my opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under my control, then exile that opponent's graveyard. Yep. Syncopate, counter unless its controller pays X. Counter spell with converted mana cost X. Spell Blast. Now time for the sorceries. We got Faithless Looting, which allows you to draw 2, then discard 2, and flash it back for 2 in a red. We got Avacyn's Judgment, which allows me to deal 2 damage divided amongst creatures, amongst targets. And if the spell's madness cost was paid, I made deals X damage divided as you choose amongst permanents or players instead. It's insane because you get to discard a lot of things in this deck, especially with cards like Cathartic Reunion. As an additional cost, discard 2 cards and draw 3 cards. Another card with that same sort of vibe. Deal 4 damage, or I could cast it for 2 for its mayhem cost if it was discarded. Divination, just 3 to draw 2. Read the bones, scry 2, then draw 2, then lose 2. Risky research, surveil 2, then draw 2, then lose 2. As I said, a lot of filter cards. Here's a big filter card. This one is hard to love, but it is what it is. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Then put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order, and deals damage to each card to me for each card revealed this way. So it's kind of a risky gamble, but you could switch your life totals with that one Magus I showed you earlier. Here is Realm Sketching. Why is this card so cheap? Create a token that's a copy of target artifact, creature, or land. Epic. Prison Break. Rise from the grave, but better. It comes back with a 1/1 counter on it. Plus, if it was discarded, you could pay 3 and a black for it. Now, Rise from the Grave. Bring it back. It's a black zombie, in addition to its creature type. Another Reanimator spell. Beacon of Unrest. Put target artifact or creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under my control, then shuffle Beacon of Unrest. And it's quite possible to get this several times, because the amount of draw power that's in this deck for a deck with 99 cards is insane. Now for Slave of Bolas, gain control of target creature, untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn, and sacrifice it at the end of turn. Terminal Velocity, which is an insane card. You may put an artifact or creature spell from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste, and whenever this permanent leaves the battlefield, it does damage equal to its mana value to each creature. And at the beginning of each end step, sacrifice this permanent. So I do this with, like, say, Magus of the Arena, or that one Magus that switches life totals, because it deals 6. It gains haste. It deals 6. Decree of Pain. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. Then it's got Cycling, which when you cycle it, you get to draw a card and give everything -2, -2. Now for the last sorcery. Army of the Damned. It is an 8-drop costing 3 black mana and 5 colorless. Create 13 tapped 2/2 black zombie tokens. And if you have the ability to flash it back for 10 mana, you could create another 13. Insane. Now time for the last bits of this deck, which is we got the lands. The lands are gonna go through a lot faster because this is the end of the video pretty much. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Thriving Moor, which allows you to pick another color as this enters, and it becomes a dual land. Same with this. It comes in as a blue, but you get to create this as a dual land. Archway Commons enters tapped. Sacrifice unless you pay 1. Add 1 mana of any color. Wow. That was really close. I just slapped a can, bros. But yeah, um, the splash on that. Let's finish this. Bojuka Bog exiles all cards in graveyard. Skyline Cascade freezes something when it enters Evolving Wilds. Allows you to search for either 4 swamps, 4 islands, or 4 mountains. Now, time for the multi-lands. We got Oscorp Industries because you can discard it and play it. When this land enters from the graveyard, though, you lose 2 life. It's worth it. I'd say it's worth it. Now, Rakdos Canarium. Rakdos taps for 1 of each. Red or black enters tapped. Red or black enters tapped. Pay 4, surveil 1. Enters tapped, you gain a life. You get a red or a black. Scry 1 enters tapped, and black or a red. Enters black or a red. Enters tapped, black or red. This one allows you. This is the worst kind of fetch land, but I got it. Enters tapped, then next turn you can sacrifice it. Search your library for a swamp or a mountain and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Demir Aqueduct. Basically, Rakdos Canarium. You get a blue and a black. Demir Guildgate. You get a blue and a black. Dismal Blackwater. You get blue and a black in life. Sunken Hollow. You get blue and a black. Trino Dark City. Blue and a black. Now time for the only 2 Izzet lands I got. Swiftwater Cliffs. Enters tapped. You gain a life. And Izzet Guildgate. This was the Kuja Mage Manufacturer deck profile. This is my 11th commander deck that I have put together this year. And fun fact, I put this deck together years ago when it was initially a commander deck. And yeah, this brings me back. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell. But most importantly, don't forget to drink your water. And yeah. On behalf of the Fellowship of the Thirsty Bird, hope you've been keeping hydrated.